I just wanted to welcome everyone here and thank you for coming. I think we're going to have a very enjoyable, intimate evening with Phil Madeira and Terry Taylor. And I think you guys are in for a real treat. And maybe a few more folks will straggle in as the concert goes on. I wanted to tell you that there are CDs at the table as you walk in. There are T-shirts that say Ames, Illinois on here, and it's just a hunch, but I think this could be a collector's item. Okay, okay. So I encourage you to shell out the $15 and see if you can make a little money. And I just ask you now to very enthusiastically welcome Phil Madeira. Thanks.
That's a nice warm welcome. I appreciate that. After this long drive I had getting here, out here to Ames, Illinois. Always wanted to go to Ames, Illinois, but I heard you can't get there from here. I'm just going to tune here so that it won't bug anybody. Well, I just want you to know that was neither Terry's nor my mistake. Now, I would rather have, Ames, Illinois is closer to the next drive. If there is an Ames, Illinois, it's closer to the next gig, but we're glad to be here. Been so warmly welcomed, which means a lot. And a couple old geezers, and somebody out there really should have said, no. Thank you. Well, that's the guy with the white hair. I mean, come on.
Gets up with the moon, goes down with the sun. You live your whole life backwards when you live on the run. She got the mind of a victim, she got the face of a clown. She's a little off kilter cause her world's turned her upside down. It might have been her uncle, maybe her pa. She met the devil himself in her own backyard. She was only a child when her watch was unwound. She's a little off kilter cause her world's turned her upside down. She keeps a bag full of nothing but sweaters and socks and a little stuffed monkey in a shopping cart. Wheeling through alleys, picking through trash, scraping tin cans for a spoonful of hash. Now her mother's holed up in some upper class place. She's buried the shame beneath an innocent face. And I wonder if she wonders about that sweet little clown. She's a little off kilter cause the world's turned her upside down. She's a little off kilter cause the world's turned her upside down. She's a little off kilter cause the world's turned her upside down.
Something cheerful to start off with, you know. Well, that's actually a title cut from my Off Kilter record, which I put out over in England a couple of years ago, and the only place you can get it in America that I know of is here in Ames, Illinois, tonight. I'm just going to run that into the ground, because I know if I don't, you will. I just thought it was rude for him to point that out, you know. I'm hurt. Okay. Okay, I see I got this one guy who needs a lot of interaction tonight. That's kind of scaring me a little bit. I assume that's the pastor of the church, okay. All right. True story. Anybody ever been on a job that they don't like? Probably everyone here. Anybody maybe, I don't know, worked for the Department of Highways or something like that? True story. It's called Wicked Job.
Rock bottom, so I took a job. It was a little detour from the will of God. I took my eyes off of vision and I buried my dream beneath the murky bottom of a stagnant stream. I was working the day shift at the Ann and Hope. It was a poor man's Walmart on a dead-end road. Life's a wicked job, someone's gotta do it. And when it gets rock hard, you gotta chisel through it. So dream big dreams, keep them in your heart, till they burst their seams like the will of God. I was stacking toasters on a conveyor belt. The girls downstairs put them on a shelf. Microwave ovens and electric brooms. I may as well have been in a padded room. Did I need the money? I don't know. But you can hate yourself when you sell your soul. Life's a wicked job, someone's gotta do it. And when it gets rock hard, you gotta chisel through it. So dream big dreams, keep them in your heart, till they burst their seams like the will of God. I didn't fit in, cause I just didn't care about electric blenders and Revere wear. I'd hide in a corner where I could hear them shout, and I'd write some lyrics about getting out. Cause all I ever wanted was to play guitar and maybe see the world from a rising star. Life's a wicked job, someone's gotta do it. And when it gets rock hard, you gotta chisel through it. So dream big dreams, keep them in your heart, till they burst their seams like the will of God. Fiddle! One day they let me go, so I moved down south, where I could make my music, me and my big mouth. And when I'm in my kitchen, I remember well those days of slumber near the gates of hell. 'Cause I've got a toaster and a blender too, and they all remind me of what a fool will do. Life's a wicked job, someone's gotta do it, and when it gets rock hard, you gotta chisel through it. So dream big dreams, keep them in your heart, till they burst their seams like the will of God. Dream big dreams, keep them in your heart, till they burst their seams like the will of God. Dream big dreams.
Thank you.
Call for peace around the treaty table. There's a gathering of chiefs all around the world. They wait for peace to start, but no one understands that it takes a change of heart. Things have gotten desperate, there's fear in every land. People want solutions before time slips through their hands. All around the world, they wait for peace to start, but no one understands that it takes a change of heart. I woke up this morning, I blurted out a prayer. I said, Lord, please keep me covered, or get me out of here. All around the world, they wait for peace to start, 'cause no one understands that it takes a change of heart. No one understands that it takes a change of heart. No one understands that it takes a change of heart. Thanks. You getting the words okay? Okay, good. Just want to make sure. I'm going to do a cheating song for you tonight. A lot of that going around. I'm happy to say this isn't, I wrote this song, but it's not about me. My wife likes me to tell people that because
Well, first of all, it's true. Second of all, I wrote this song in the first person, and so once in a while people just assume that you're not the singer, that you're actually the guy telling the story. So Terry's got a lot of those tunes too, All his songs those guys are they're like big drinkers, So this is the Big Cheater song, but anything you do is forgivable, and sometimes you just pay a price, and so this is about a guy who's paying a price for bad choices. It's called Francine.
Francine, the first time I saw you, I'll never forget. You shone like the silvery moon on that night that we met. But the warmth you reflected was as cheap as your cigarette. The dark side of your soul appealed to the dark side of mine, and I made myself think you were part of some holy design. But the light that I saw in your eyes was a vacancy sign. I thought you were helpless, thought you were needy. I thought I could show you the sun. But the closer we got, the more your eyes shut. Francine, you're as dead as they come. I tried in darkness and shadow to recover my youth. Hey baby, I lied and I schemed and connived till I couldn't tell the truth. Oh, I gave you my soul for a taste of forbidden fruit. I thought you were helpless, thought you were needy. I thought I could show you the sun. But the closer we got, the more your eyes shut. Francine, you're as dead as they come. Francine, the first time I saw you, I'll never forget. I got wounds to remind me and many a debt, and your image is hung in my conscience with many regrets. There's a moon hanging high like a spoon in the sky tonight. There's a moon hanging high like a spoon in the sky tonight. It's amazing how much you can see by its silvery light. I thought you were helpless, thought you were needy. I thought I could show you the sun. But the closer we got, the more your eyes shut. Francine, you're as dead as they come. The closer we got, the more your eyes shut. Francine, you're as dead as they come.
seems like singing that one always makes the people happy, you know. And little guitar switch here. Not that I need to, it's just kind of, you know, it's sort of like, do you guys get that TBN thing here? What's it called? That Trinity Broadcasting? Does that come up here? Yeah, this is my version of that, having an extra guitar, you know. I just haven't painted it gold yet, but, see, I'm kidding. I always, no offense, you know, I'll always offend someone, it's just the way it's going to be, but, that lady on there, the lady, Jan, I believe her name is, she always reminds me of Cruella de Vil, if you ever saw. I'm thinking what a fantastic witness this is for the kingdom of God. You know, you got this woman up there, and it's Cruella de Vil. Not trying to be mean, I'm just kind of calling it like I see it, you know, and I tell her to her face, you know, I try to be nice about it. Say, has anyone ever told you that you look like Cruella de Vil? You know, it'd be kind of fun to do. I'm sure she'd be complimented. I'm sure that's what she was going for when she got the pink wig. You know, I see someone like that, and I'm just thinking, of course, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. You realize if I say something wrong, you know, we can back up. But I'm thinking, you know, let's see, who's her favorite Bible character? It must be Jezebel. Okay, I'm sorry. See, I went over the edge. Well, she's in the Bible. Okay, just getting in tune here. I'm just going to warn the sound guy that this is going to be a little louder, but I'll back it up here, okay? Okay, man? No? Okay. Oh, did he say yo? I thought he said no. I thought, well, you know. Have you guys heard of a record that I was recently part of with Wayne Kirkpatrick and Gordon Kennedy and Billy Sprague? Have you heard this? Thank you both. Well, we just had the opportunity. At least 3 of the 4 of us have kind of, you know, stepped outside of Christian music quite a bit as writers, and you know, actually Gordon and Wayne and I have all had songs cut by Garth Brooks, and they had the 2 of them had a song cut by Eric Clapton, and anyway, but one of the Christian labels asked us if we'd do our own versions of songs that we'd written for other people, and so or that other people had recorded that, you know, that no, so we did it, you know, and it's a nice little record. It's called Coming From Somewhere Else, and this is a song that I had written quite a number of years ago, and Susan Ashton wound up recording it. And this really does express my heart, you know. I'm a nut, I will tell you that. I'm a nut, you know, and I'm often offensive, but at least I know it, you know, and sometimes I really feel bad about that, and like tonight, I'm really feeling terrible about what I said about Jan Crouch. I know you can tell just by looking at me. Feel bad, but anyway, this is called Hunger and Thirst, and this is really where I truly am coming from. You are my shepherd, I'm your little lamb. You lead me by the still water, here in the pasture land. Sometimes I willfully wander, that's when I stumble and fall. I hunger and thirst for mercy, I
hunger and thirst for your name. If I hunger and thirst for anything but you, I hunger and thirst in vain. You are my father, I'm your little child. You make a place at your table and ask me to stay a while. I want to stay in your presence, I want to feast in your hall. I hunger and thirst for mercy, I hunger and thirst for your name. If I hunger and thirst for anything but you, I hunger and thirst in vain. Heavenly Shepherd, watch over me, take me there where the healing water runs deep. I hunger and thirst for mercy, I hunger and thirst for your name. If I hunger and thirst for anything but you, I hunger and thirst in vain. I hunger and thirst for mercy, I hunger and thirst for your name. If I hunger and thirst for anything but you, I hunger and thirst in vain.
Here's one I wrote for my parents. My dad was a Baptist minister, and a lot of people, when I say that, they say, so that's it. But most often when I say my dad was a Baptist minister, I always say, my dad was a Baptist minister, but, like he was great, or but he was, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe I've been in a couple of weird Baptist churches, but I've been in every denomination or whatever has their scrambled eggs. But I'm so grateful. I would not be sitting here today saying that there's something larger than ourselves if it wasn't for my dad and my mom. And I've often said that growing up in our house, it was almost like Jesus was just like lounging around on the couch, and he was just such a real part of living. So it's been a fact. His existence has been a fact that I've just always embraced, and but my parents, they're getting up in years, and my dad has Alzheimer's now, and so I tend to talk about him in the past tense, and because he certainly doesn't remember. He remembers nothing, and it's just a very, very, very sad time in our lives to be watching this generous, gracious man who really dedicated himself to God's work. All of a sudden, if you didn't know better, you'd think, well, has God just completely abandoned him? It's a really, really difficult thing to watch. My mom just turned 80, and she is, she and my dad are just getting ready to sell the house and move into a place that will accommodate their needs until the very end. And she's just a woman of integrity, great heroic person. Great musician as well. Anyway, I went up to Rhode Island, a place called Barrington, Rhode Island, or was it Barrington, Illinois? I'm trying to remember. Anyhow, I went up to Rhode Island for her 80th birthday, and of course, my siblings were there, and my dad was there, and Dad, it's so confusing for him because, we'll call him Dad, and he's like, he catches on a little bit. Okay, these are my kids, and he even calls me Phil once in a while, which is shocking to me. And but it's just such a sad thing. Well, I went to church with them the day of her birthday, and went to the church that he was the pastor of for so many years, and he still sings in the choir. And I was watching him, and I could hear him sing, and he still sang great. I could hear, he was getting the words right. And then Scripture, he still knows Scripture. It's really interesting to me. This guy completely devoted himself to the work of Christ, and that's all he's got left. He's been seemingly abandoned by everything else, every other memory, and yet he remembers praise and he remembers the Word. And I don't consider myself a particularly godly guy. I just think of myself as a kind of a schmuck who wishes he could be like his dad. And but I look at my dad and I see this, and I'm grateful because at least that's at least the thing he devoted himself to, he still has. And I hope that means something to someone tonight. And if not, thanks for indulging me. But this is something I wrote for them. He heard this, of course, before he lost his memory. This is called Something About Love.
Well, my father never ruled with an iron fist. He was gentle and strong, brave and kind. He's one of the few men that I'm willing to kiss. He was humble and godly most of the time. We never had too little, we never had too much, but what could be greater than a loving touch? Some people want power, but they can't get enough. I know better than that. I know something about love. Well, my mother never worried about staying in style. She focused her eyes on higher ground. She treasured a tear and she valued a smile. She was a righteous angel in a borrowed gown. We never had too little, we never had too much, but what could be greater than a loving touch? Some people want riches, they can't get enough. I know better than that. I know something about love. Well, I love my wife because my dad loved my mom. It was one of those things that was easy to see. And I love the foundation our house is built on. I love my children because my parents loved me. We never had too little, we never had too much, but what could be greater than a loving touch? Some people want power, they can't get enough. I know better than that. I know something about love. Some people want riches, they can't get enough. I know better than that. I know something about love. Some people want the world, oh, they can't get enough. I know better than that. I know something about love. I know something about love.
Thank you very much. It's a pretty simple rule, I think. If you love your kids, they're going to love their kids. If you love your wife and you got a son, he's going to love his wife. Vice versa. Simple stuff. I've got one in every port. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Oh, I just love to shock. I've got two wonderful children. They're very young. They're 8. My daughter Madeline, who we named after a writer named Madeline L'Engle, is 8 years old. And my daughter Kate, who we just named because we like that name, she's 10. And I've been married for 22 years to a great woman named Eleanor. And I called them last night. I tried to call them tonight, but no one was answering. I called them last night, and they were having this big brouhaha, this big fight, And that's one of the things about the road that is a real drag, let me tell you. You call off to say, hi, how's everybody doing? And, there's plates dropping and stuff. And so we're out for another 10 days, and I don't think I'm going to call again. But, just one of those things, But I love my family, and I like it. Probably everyone else here who's been married any amount of time have certainly gone through those periods of doubt or longing and selfishness. And fortunately, I'm looking back at 22 years and looking back at hard times we made it through. But that off-kilter record that's out there, that really, I wrote a lot of that during a time when I was really just in a dark place. Really just wondering about my marriage, the whole thing. And of course, as I review my own mind, I know that a lot of that was just kind of selfish thinking. A lot of times I think when people get depressed, sometimes it's a clinical thing, and sometimes it's just, doggone it, life should be better for me, and until it gets better, I'm gonna sink, and that's kind of what I think I did. But so that kind of chronicles, that record very loosely chronicles a time of self-doubt, and then a time of, just awareness that God was worth following, no matter what life might feel like. Because sometimes the things that we do that we're really called to, and the things that we do that are the right thing, are the most painful, disheartening things we could imagine doing, Anyway, I went over to England, and I was touring that record. I was touring with a couple of guys named Phil and John. They had their little band, the Wood Thieves. And I went over there feeling particularly useless, I just felt like, why am I even going, And got over there, and they had us stand in this old pub called, my buddy Lynn and I, we were staying in this pub called the Three Horseshoes, which is the name of my other record out there for sale. And it was funny, I grew up in the evangelical ghetto, like maybe some of you guys did, or are raising your children in currently. And and it's funny, we just think so. We have a real American way of thinking about Christianity, and of course the Brits are a lot different. So, good Christian Americans don't go into bars. I get over to England, and these good Christian English people are not only taking me to a bar, but I'm staying overnight, and it's not really a bar. It's like a pubs aren't like bars. They're like living rooms. You know, you got a little fireplace, and there's a dog there and a couple of kids, and of course they're drinking. And I'm kidding, but I got over there feeling pretty, you know, pretty shy about my faith, and if you can imagine that, and just I just decided, you know, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to play my songs. I'm not going to say the things that I think believers over there want me to say. And of course, we were playing for a lot of people who were not necessarily church people, and I, you know, a lot of times I really feel for those people and sort of feel like maybe you shouldn't say anything, just do your songs, unlike tonight where I'm talking my head off. But I got over there and something happened. First of all, I realized, man, this is like holy ground. This pub that we're in is this, and I just knew something was going on. And all the people in this pub that really were like God's hands kind of nursing me back to well-being. None of them were religious people whatsoever. They were just really gracious people. And it started me thinking that, you know, how often religious people think in terms of us and them. And, how, you know, how often, while we might talk about wanting to reach a person, we still have sort of a wall up about that person. We expect a person to come to us, and it's just very convoluted. But so here are these people over there being sweet to me, and I started waking up, and my soul started remembering what joy was about. And so this is a song that I wrote one day, sitting there in the pub.
Midlands, I found my spirit under a cloud in a field of green. I can't explain it, somebody woke me. I opened up my eyes and I walked into a dream. I got the notion I'm supposed to be here. For once I feel like I'm in the right place. I crossed an ocean, I found my heart here. Life moves in mysterious ways. Horseshoes, they got me thinking I got a home here anytime at all. I do some writing, a little singing. You gotta love it when there's no last call. I got the notion I'm supposed to be here. For once I feel like I'm in the right place. I crossed an ocean, I found my heart here. Life moves in mysterious ways. Life moves in mysterious ways. The wind is chilly, I'm out here walking, I'm out here singing, and I'm feeling pretty good. It may sound silly, I've been stalking some kind of sense of being where I should. I got the notion I'm supposed to be here. For once I feel like I'm in the right place. I crossed an ocean, I found my heart here. Life moves in mysterious ways. There's a big hand, and if you're willing, move you around like a chess game piece. I'm in a strange land, but it's fulfilling. Out here on a long lane, a beggar at a feast. I got the notion I'm supposed to be here. Once I feel like I'm in the right place. I crossed an ocean, I found my heart here. Life moves in mysterious ways. Life moves in mysterious ways. Life moves in mysterious ways. Thanks.
Thank you. Very kind. Here in Ames, Illinois. I'll have to tell JT that he did that on the shirt. Our manager. Another song about waking up. You know, as I was writing these tunes, and it was about a 3-week, 4-week period that I was writing what became my record, Three Horseshoes. And a lot of these tunes are just, you know, it's just kind of evident I'm just waking up. It's like, you know, this little seed of joy all of a sudden is just flowering. And I had such a kind of like an epiphanous moment over there that like these guys in the Bible in the Old Testament, you know, how many people are familiar with the Old Testament here? Okay. I was kidding. I kind of assumed that, but how many people aren't? Okay. Well, anyways, you know how like Jacob or whomever, these guys would be out in the middle of nowhere. Moses, you know, all of a sudden a bush starts, you know, going in flames. Or with Jacob, he has a little wrestling match with the Lord, you know, and somebody else maybe a backgammon game or something, and quick cup of tea or whatever, you know. These folks would have an encounter with the living God, and often they would build an altar. They'd just make a big stack of rocks, and the next time maybe they traveled through that little part of the desert, they'd see that thing and they'd remember. And so that's kind of what that's what the Three Horseshoes record is to me. It's my little pile of rocks, just acknowledging that something happened, and I'll always be grateful it did. England's always going to be a really special place to me.
Now once in a while I do foolish things, so high in the sky I'm burning my wings. I'm Icarus falling, hoping for all that I'm worth, that your love will always bring me down to earth. Now once in a while I follow a dream. You're here at my side, encouraging me. Sometimes I win, sometimes I draw, sometimes I lose my shirt, but your love will always bring me down to earth. Love will always bring me down to earth. Now once in a while, it's all clear to me. I look at my life and I ask, how bad would it be if you hadn't found me and loved me for all you were worth? Well, your love will always bring me down to earth. Love will always bring me down to earth. Hey, love will always bring me down to earth.
Thanks. Thank you. Well, somebody asked me about my Christmas tune tonight, so they hoped I would do my famous Christmas song. And in case you're wondering, I wrote this over in England, like everything else. And this is on the Three Horseshoes record. And hey, I don't want any competition from that kid. I'll come down there right now and straighten him out. I just want. Did you ever notice, those of you with children, how much you knew about kids before you had them? I remember with my sister, and my sister was the first one of us 3 kids to have children. And my brother and I would be like, I can't believe what she lets him get away with. Should have cuffed him, should have just given, bam, right across the face. We used to, and then we both had our kids, and
every December like moths to a flame. We used to drive north every year just the same. But we're sick of the traffic, so we're staying right here. And we ain't coming home for Christmas this year. Packages, sweaters, ski boots and gloves, packed to the gills till the car door won't shut. By the time we've gassed up, we've got no Yuletide cheer. So we ain't coming home for Christmas this year. No, we ain't. Okay, I admit it ain't just the drive, but by the time we get back here, we're barely alive. 'Cause sometimes vacations can summon old tears, and we ain't coming home for Christmas this year. Don't worry, we'll call you and we'll put the kids on. Whatever it takes to strengthen our bonds. And in that sweet moment, we'll wish we were there. Still, we ain't coming home for Christmas this year. Tell Santa to forward the gifts to our house. And maybe once in a decade, you ought to drive south. Just give us some notice, God knows we'll be here. 'Cause we ain't coming home for Christmas this year. Now don't be offended and don't be upset. I never intended to make you regret. Those wonderful moments, so special and dear. It almost sounds like I'm gonna break, doesn't it? Yeah. No, I'm not. Ain't coming home for Christmas this year. I think I'd rather be in Ames we ain't coming home. 'Cause sometimes families are a pain. No, we ain't coming. I said we ain't coming home. We ain't coming. I'd rather be in Green Bay or in Nome. All right. You guys are good. I always like it when there's I finally found who the three people with my record are. That's fantastic. But tonight you can change that. You too can be part of that secret club of Phil Madeira record owners. Very exclusive. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, God bless you. Well, don't bring her to an auction. Come home with a few head of cattle, you know. Well, she was just calling for her binky. Here's another song from Off Kilter, and this is a favorite of. I think this is probably my favorite one, and I think sometimes we apologize for who we are, if you know what I'm talking about, as opposed to apologizing for the things we do. And so this is kind of a song about self-acceptance and just contentment, you know, trying to be content with the broken thing that I am. Not like I had a plan, not like I saw the goal. You gotta whittle down to nothing before you'll ever be made whole. I've been carving, stripping back the bark, rounding off the edges of a jagged heart. Different drum, I didn't have a choice. You either follow all the cattle or you follow your own voice. I've been carving, stripping back the bark, rounding off the edges of a jagged heart. Make no apologies, but move in mercy's way. And as you sculpt yourself, remember, no one else is yours to shape. I've been carving, stripping back the bark, jagged heart. Well, let's do another little sing-along. We'll take a break in a few minutes here. I wrote this song in a pub over in England. Now, the good news is, you know that I was being basically a good boy because I came back with all these songs, I came back with memories, if you get my drift. I tell people that in America I don't drink. Over there, I don't sin. I'll say I don't sin. Man, I just love that Guinness, man. I just love that stuff. And I'm hearing absolutely nothing but breathing right now, so I realize... Oh, did you say amen? God bless you. I go to an Episcopal church, which is a little stretch from being Baptist, and of course the Episcopal church is, at least in America, is really, really a troubled denomination. The church we go to is pretty nice, pretty great. But the funny thing is, culturally, man, I mean, they never got caught up into that whole, that whole thing of don't do that. And so the first time I ever went on a retreat at our church, they had all this. These are godly men. We go on this retreat, and I went with my buddy Steve Hindelong. I don't know if you know Steve's name, but he just produced a worship record called "City on a Hill," which is, someone was playing it here earlier. It's a wonderful project. And we get there, and we were just kind of shocked that these guys had a little different mentality towards those things that evangelicals have such a hard time with in general. But this song talks about sitting down and sharing a drink. And I've always been amazed that no one has ever complained to me about this song. I've sung it in churches all over America, and everyone loves it. So I'm always feeling like, maybe I'm a little hard on Christians. Maybe they're more open than I think. We're all hungry. We're all thirsty. We're all on a journey. And once in a while, it's just good to encounter contentedness. And anyway, this is just about being in that pub. I wrote it to the people there. I thought, I've got to give these folks something. They've been so kind to me. So I gave them this tune. Of course, with the hope that someday I can really, I've shared with them, but they're so slow. They're such procrastinators. In fact, one of them, I've prayed with her and everything, and she really wants to follow the Lord, but she always says to, not yet, just not yet, Phil. I'm going to do it, but not yet, and it's like, okay, but, I can't really say like turn or burn or something inviting like that, So I give her a song instead. I come around here now and then, play guitar with my good friend Lynn. We do a show, then we take a bow. We spend a month living on the road, and just to feel like we got a home, we hang our hats here. This'll do for now. Every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be heaven's best, it'll do for now. Just a pub full of local folks. They let us in on the local jokes. We're in England, living on a cloud. Paul's the one who runs this place. Jill's the one with a fairer face of an angel. This'll do for now. Every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be heaven's best. It'll do for now. Joan and Wendy, Ray and John, buying drinks for adopted sons like mercy. May it ever flow. Singing songs with the wood thieves, the hand of love in a tattered sleeve. Jesus, this'll do for now. Every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be heaven's best. It'll do for now. Just to feel like I belong satisfies the thirst I've known and cools the fever ever on my brow. And sometimes I get all choked up. Say, Jill, could you fill my cup? Delwynnie, this'll do for now. You wanna try singing this? Every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be let's try it again. Sound good. Every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be every traveler needs his rest, far beyond life's drought. This may not be heaven's best. It'll do for now. It'll do for now. It'll do for now. Very nice. Very nice. One last tune, and I'm going to take a little break, and I'll come back up with, geez, I forget his name. This guy I've been traveling with. You know, it's funny, when I came back from that whole pub experience, I thought, you know, if the church was more like a pub, you know, you got your fireplace, you got your dog, you got the kids. No, they're not drinking. You know, I mean, it's so funny. This play, the Three Horseshoes was great because you'd come in there, and you know what? I go back every year. I have been back there every year since 1995, and it's just like you never left. No, and none of the two of the people there, I've come to find out, are Anglican, and so
they really, they think it's great that I'm part of the Anglican communion, and everyone else is pretty much just, doesn't really care a whole lot about religion, but for some reason, they love me. And wouldn't it be great if the church was a place, and maybe this church is like that, maybe this congregation is a congregation that somehow has figured out a way to welcome the person with a different political viewpoint, the person with a different skin color, the person with a different, on down the line. Because that's what Jesus does. And frankly, I haven't followed the Lord because of the church. For me, the church thing hasn't really appealed to me a whole lot. I'm kind of amazed that I've hung in there. But the reason I have hung in there is because God is so compelling. And so if Jesus is really at the core of what's going on, as I sure hope, I see people nodding here, I sure hope that's the case here, then our doors are open, and we don't try to keep certain people out. That's not to say that we don't call sin either, but we learn to we learn to embrace the sinner, and that's a hard thing for us to do. But I've got this one more thing that we can all sing together. I just want to tell you how welcome you have made me feel, and how pub-like an atmosphere I have sensed here. So anyway, I certainly wish you the best in that, and there are a lot of wonderful people out in the world who just haven't happened to have found what some of us have found yet, So be a place of welcome. Isn't that a great chord?
Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus, if you please. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be. Dear Lord, let it be. I am weak, but thou art strong. People of Ames, Illinois, please sing along. I'll be satisfied at long as I'm walking. Keep on walking close to thee. One more verse here. Just a closer walk with thee. Great Jesus, hear my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be. Dear Lord, let it be. Let it be. Dear Lord, let it be. Let it be. A closer walk with thee. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
I think, you ready, boss? I think Terry's going to come up right now, so no breaks. Sorry, folks, but I think you're going to love this. Yeah, I'm blaming it on you. This is my dear friend Terry Taylor.
Thank you very much. How you folks doing?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I guess I need a pick.
What size?
I got it. Oh, wrong one. Now the most exciting part of the concert, the tuning. I finally changed my strings, so that's why I'm having a little problem. I hadn't changed them since last Cornerstone. 89. Never fails to get a laugh.
Oh, listen to you bragging.
We're going to start off with one called 10-Gallon Hat. I want you guys to whistle along on this one.
You're kind of dead, man. I just want to warn you.
Really?
No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. You got to work for it, though. So
You guys ready to pucker up and blow? I'll put a 10-gallon hat over my devil horns. I'll lasso the sunset and back. I'm gonna wear it like a uniform. They'll say there goes a one good man. I might fool them for another day. Then at the crack of a glorious dawn, I'll ride away. I'll be riding away to where they say that they love you and they mean it. Or for instance, there's no fences round the dream when you dream it. And the heart in the dark finds a light to redeem it. In the meantime, let me say, God knows I got a 10-gallon hat over my devil horns. I'll lasso the sunset and back. I'm gonna wear it like a uniform. They'll say there goes a one righteous man. I might fool them for another day. Then at the crack of a glorious dawn, I'll ride away. Here we go. Whistle. You sound beautiful. Riding away to where they say that they love you and they mean it. Or for instance, there's no fences around your dream when you dream it. And the heart in the dark finds a light to redeem it. In the meantime, let me say, God knows I got a 10-gallon hat over my devil horns. I'll lasso the sunset back. I'm gonna wear it like a uniform. They'll say there goes a one righteous man. I'm a fool for another day. Then at the crack of inglorious dawn, I'll ride away. Then at the crack of inglorious dawn, I'll ride away. Oh, that was beautiful. Come on, people. All right. Good to be here with you. What was that? What was that wisecrack? Look, if you guys make wisecracks, I'm going to point you out. You're going to stand up, you're going to state your name, where you're from, and why you're making the wisecrack. We had, on a serious note, we had a series of incidents in Los Angeles a few years ago you might have heard about. People trying to shoot each other on the freeways. Not a pleasant situation. And so I decided that I'd write a song, because that's what I do, called Cowboys with Engines. See, a few of you get it. Okay. And if you feel like, singing along at any point, you can. Because you whistled so well, I figured I'd go for the, sing-along. Well, these strings don't want to stay in tune. Just exciting, isn't it? Tuning. I could do it all night. And I may. By the diamond in the lane, there's a crimson red stain marks the spot where a poor soul fell. A handiwork of the devil, and it's just one of several tombstones on the freeway through hell. Oh, cowboys with engines strike fear in their minions. No, they'll stop at nothing to protect their dominions, with the bullets to back up outrageous opinions. It's best that you run, son, from cowboys with engines. No, don't lift a finger, insult a gunslinger, and I'll show you exactly who's boss. Say a prayer for the old folks, tailgaters and slowpokes, whose path he just happens to cross. Oh, cowboys with engines strike fear in their minions, but they'll stop at nothing to protect their dominions, with the bullets to back up outrageous opinions. It's best that you run, son, from cowboys with engines. In the new old Wild West, outlaws still possess hair trigger fingers, cold hearts of unrest. Don't throw down a challenge, it could mean your death, and the law can do little but clean up the mess. Some commuters have sworn in the hours before morn, if you happen to be driving alone, a light fog will reveal the dead at the wheel, driving ghost cars for families back home. Oh, cowboys with engines strike fear in their minions, or they'll stop at nothing to protect their dominions, with the bullets to back up outrageous opinions. It's best that you run, son, cowboys with engines. It's best that you run, son, cowboys with engines. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the Pretend I'm Elvis tour. That's the name of this tour, by the way. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend that we're Elvi.
Out here in Illinois, is he a big deal here? Ames, Illinois? Did you? Okay, that confirms it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Well, we got a story to tell you later about that.
I knew it.
I just knew it.
That's so great.
We've got a saying in our family, starting Monday. That's a big saying in our family. Especially with New Year's coming up, we're going to be saying a lot of that. You might say it too, starting Monday, I'm going to quit watching so much TV or go on a diet or whatever the case may be. And so this is the Procrastinator's song called Starting Monday. And hopefully you'll identify with it. Starting Monday, I'm cleaning the slate. Gonna quit smoking, start losing some weight. Tell someone I'm sorry, oh, it's gonna be great. Starting Monday. Starting Monday, I'll be cheating fate. Here I written it down, I circled the date. Right now is not good, but I'll charge out the gate. Starting Monday. I know I said it before, but this time I'm determined to be what I know I can be. Don't need a how-to book or some do-gooder sermon to change my own destiny. But starting Monday, I'll be playing it straight, choosing only the good things to put on my plate. Reversing the engine, rewinding the tape. Starting Monday. I'm well aware of the fact I got only a weekend to get all my ducks in a row. I'll be working real hard to get out of my system a few wild oats left to sow. But starting Monday, there'll be no debate. I'll start reading my Bible, rise early, work late, recycle, stay sober, choose love over hate. Starting Monday, starting Monday, fix all my mistakes. Starting Monday. Yeah. Man, we're good. We should go out on the road with this. Yeah, you're right. How many here have heard of San Juan Capistrano? There's a few of you. It's not far from where I live. They have a mission there. And it's a beautiful town, a little sort of quaint place. They have a big deal about the swallows returning to Capistrano. And they return supposedly every year. And they always have these big celebrations, they have bands and they have sort of a street fair.
We gotta play there.
We should. And, so the tourists flock to San Juan Capistrano to see the swallows return. And they spend a lot of, money there and everybody's happy. But the swallows, it's fairly humble. I think this year they had one swallow return to Capistrano. And they have a sister city there by the beach called Capistrano Beach. And it's not much of a beach. It's not much of a town. It's where I went to elementary school. I went down there before I wrote this song and sort of checked it out again to see how it was doing, and it's actually gotten worse. So I imagined a a fella sort of stuck in the town there. And it's about a broken guy who sort of wants to get out and doesn't seem to be able to. So fly on, you mixed up swallows. This is not the stop that God planned. You are over San Juan's crippled sister, and it's best you do not land. Sing your song to a nipper, Sarah. Ask him why we were left in the breach. Could have used a good missionary here in Capistrano Beach. Got a stepdad in Tampa, most my friends have moved on. Got an old gal who's a habit I suppose I love still. Used to imagine our kids would fill 2 station wagons, and we'd live in the Palisades over the hill. Now big money owns the high cliffs and the ocean view leases. Down here their sewage gets dumped in Bacteria Bay, and the bikers chase the bikers on the gray hopeless beaches, where the drug punks chuck driftwood, get tanned so they'll look good when they're beating up drifters and gays. So fly on, you mixed up swallows. This is not the stop that God planned. You're over San Juan's crippled sister, and it's best you do not land. Sing your song to a nipper, Sarah. Ask him why we were left in the breach. Could have used a good missionary here in Capistrano Beach. Old Jesus got busted, but his restaurant's still open. They got a rat or two in there and they find chili relleno. With all the stiff competition, Leo's Liquor is closing. Poor Leo went down drinking whiskey and Drano. Well, the grade school burned up, killing mean old Miss Day, who pinched our young arms when we got her too mad. She'd tear up when she'd read to us from Hemingway. Don't know why to this day I still visit her gravesite. Hope she knows I only turned out half bad. Well, I think about Mexico, living down there. Heard of guys like me making new starts, out on their own fishing boats with the wind in their hair. But this town whispers low, saying you'll never go. Hey brother, till death do us part. So fly on, you mixed up swallows. This is not the stop that God planned. You are over San Juan's crippled sister, and it's best you do not land. Sing your song to a nipper, Sarah. Ask them why we were left in the breach. Could have used a good missionary here in Capistrano Beach. Could have used a good missionary here in Capistrano Beach. We're going to do a song about loudmouths. Phil. You know what I'm trying to say, man?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna step out for a burger.
I've offended you. I rebuke you, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
In love.
I don't think we didn't get enough laughs here. I don't think they use that term here.
Oh, they don't?
Do you guys not sling that around at each other? I rebuke you. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard of that out here in Illinois? It usually follows the word brother,
Right.
which is such a lovely word, but it's always brother, and then bam.
Now, this I'm not a misogynist by any stretch of the imagination, but and I hope this song doesn't divide the room or anything. If you're with your wife or your date, this sort of slants toward the male, I guess, a little bit. So you men can sing it to them, and ladies, you can sing it right back to your man, and we'll just all come together. I'm all for strong women. This is called Pie Hole, and what they have to say. They deserve liberation, same work, equal pay. I like restaurants or parties with mixed company, but I also like hanging out, just my buddies and me. Lately there's a lady who's lurking about, finds the times and the places the boys are gonna hang out, and she thinks we'll consider her just one of us if she drinks like a sailor and knows how to cuss. Put a lid on it, baby. Zip it up, lose the key. Who invited you anyway? It sure wasn't me. Your long story is boring, jokes obnoxious at best. Put a lid on it, baby. Give your pie hole a rest. Now my wife is a wonder. She's my dearest friend. She can charm all the ladies and hold her own with the men. And she and her girlfriends will get together sometimes for chewing the fat and speaking their minds. And she can't comprehend this total lack of respect for the break we all need from the opposite sex. For people so plainly unsure of themselves that they have to pretend they are somebody else. Everybody, here we go. Put a lid on it, baby. Zip it up, lose the key. Who invited you anyway? Who invited you anyway? It sure wasn't me. We're too kind to tell you that we all think it best. You put a lid on it, baby. Give your pie hole a rest. Each band has a Yoko, each day has a night. Hillary has Bubba, Ben Franklin loved kites. Now we're sitting here wondering, we just don't understand how a gal thinks we'll dig her if she acts like a man. Everybody sing it, come on. Put a lid on it, babe. We've got unity going here. Zip it up, lose the key. Who invited you anyway? Sure wasn't me. It sure wasn't me. You're smart and you're pretty. You're smart and you're pert. But with us you're a mess. But with us you're a mess. Put a lid on it, baby. Give your pie hole a rest. Put a lid on it, baby. Give your pie hole a rest. Please, baby. For me? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Got the Elvis thing going. Well, it is the Pretend I'm Elvis tour, you know, so. I keep saying that. Most of the stuff is off the Avocado Fault Line. How many have that record here? Uh-huh. Okay. You people that don't have the record, I want you to get up right now and go purchase it in the back. Oh, really? Well, that's kind of what we've been doing, right? This is sort of the other side of the coin. We're going to play for you. It's called Angels Must Smile Like That. Havoc. This is dedicated to my wife. I've been on tour for a while now, and it does get lonely.
Thank you very much.
Well, Phil, we'll talk later, buddy. Woke up lying in her garden bed. The sun came up behind her head. I touched her hair, then brushed it back. Oh, angels must smile like that. She's a picture of the world to come, a beautiful and holy one. I rest my head against her lap. Ah, angels must smile like that. Was she flesh and blood, breathing in the juniper and the jasmine when the night fell? Was that stardust in her eyes, moonlight glistening on her skin, skin like porcelain, skin voice a prayer she said that pulled me from the river bed. Body close brought me back. Angels must smile like that. Angels must smile like that. Angels must smile like that.
Where'd my pick go? There it is.
There's the oldest street in Los Angeles. It's called Olvera Street. Anybody ever been to Olvera Street? One guy in the back. But it's been a tradition in our family since I was a baby, and before that, my grandparents would go there, and my parents took me, and now I'm taking my kids. And it is the oldest road in Los Angeles, and it's basically a Mexican marketplace, and they have a little taco stand on the corners, and that's the one that we always go to. Well, their specialty is a thing called taquitos. They're just little rolled tacos, and they have this sauce that you can't get anywhere else in the world. It's a green sauce, sort of thin, a little bit hot, and it's to die for. My mom says it's better than steak, and it's true. Anyway, so we've made it, a tradition to go. Last year we went there for Father's Day. Now, for a number of years, as songwriters, we like to say something about our relationships. We'll write a song about our children or our wife or our folks. And it was always a struggle for me to come up with a song about my dad because I wanted it to be true. I didn't want it to be overly sentimental, too mushy. And I didn't want it to be overpraising either, because we had Dad was a quiet type, didn't say a whole lot of "I love you," and wasn't the sort of person that would be touchy-feely or any of that sort of thing. So we've had a great relationship in the last several years. But as a kid, I felt he was distant and quiet and non-expressive. So here we are on Father's Day on Olvera Street, and there's a sizable number of people going up and down the marketplace there. And Dad's eating his taquitos, and it's a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Not much smog and blue skies, beautiful breeze. Dad, I'm looking over at Dad, and I can see he's very, very content. And all of our families were there, my brother and his wife and children, my family, and Mom and Dad. Well, after Dad got done with his last taquito, he suddenly stands up and starts doing this little shuffle, this little dance. And people were gawking at him and sort of laughing, and our jaws dropped at first, and then we started laughing. And it was hilarious. And I knew that it was, Dad's telling us that he loved us. That was his way of saying, "I love you guys. This is great." And so that visual stuck in my head for a long time. And I started putting two and two together, came up with the song title "Papa Danced on Olvera Street." And the song took a long time in coming, but it shares a little bit of the relationship between fathers and sons. And fathers, I tell you tonight that, or potential fathers, tell your kids you love them and hug them and kiss them. I got a 20-year-old. I do that. It means so much to them. And sometimes it's we that have to break that chain, of non-expression and a sense that there's distance between us. And so remember that, okay? Anyway, this is called "Papa Danced on Olvera Street." Across the way from Union Station is our family's favorite stand. You can take a seat and eat and drink, hear the mariachi band. LA's oldest road is a marketplace run by charming and kind Latinos. You'll ignore faint sense of sewage once you've tasted them taquitos. There was that day the world seemed brighter, the hot green sauce a little hotter. You know you've got a good batch when your eyes begin to water. And I believe God laughed along with our surprise at happy feet, 'cause Papa stood straight up and did a little dance down on old Olvera Street. Couldn't help himself 'cause the day was warm and the company was sweet, and strangers laughed too at the sight that made our day complete. With his family gathered on Father's Day, Dad's love ran wide and deep, and he said so with his little dance down on old Olvera Street. Above us loomed Avila Adobe, oldest house in Los Angeles. Did I really see a second sight that nearly brought me to my knees? Encarnacion Abella, Francisco the rancher's grieving widow, watching Papa dance, I swear her sad ghost smiled there in the upper story window. But couldn't help herself 'cause the day was warm and the sight was oh so sweet, and the crowd laughed too at that joyous soul who made our day complete. With this family gathered on Father's Day, Dad's love ran wide and deep, and he said so with his little dance down on old Olvera Street. In a world that wounds us time to time, that glimpse of grace was so sublime. And though the angels now live in Anaheim, they flew in for just a peek at that miracle of a fandango down on old Olvera Street. And heaven knows I love that man. He's more than half of who I am. It's a thing I'm beginning to understand. Wish my heart had moved my feet, and I had joined my daddy when he danced that day down on old Olvera Street. Thank you. Found out after I wrote that song that Dad found out that he has cancer, and it's basically not curable. And before I left for Cornerstone, I was waiting for the CD Avocado Fault Line to come to my house because I wanted to get it to my dad. It came the day before I left, which I think has a lot to do with the sovereign God. And it arrived, and I was able to send it off to him. And talked to my mom later on the road, and she says, "Well, I'd let you talk to your dad, but he can't talk to you." And I said, "Why is that?" He wouldn't be able to. Every time he hears the song, he sobs, you know. So, again, it's important to tell people that you love them. You guys ever been in a situation where somebody sort of says something sarcastic to you, and you wish you had that perfect thing to say back, but you can't think of it? And then you get in the car, and on the way home, you remember you have 5 things that are perfect, would have restored your respect and dignity. Well, I've been in that spot. I am right now, as a matter of fact. So I wrote this song for all of us that have been in that situation. It's called With What I Should Have Said. When I'm by myself, I'm quite the magician, the turn of the phrase and the juxtaposition. But give me a crowd and watch me go fishing, turn up the heat and I'm out of the kitchen. Bob got in a good one at my expense. He had 'em all laughing at my weak-kneed defense. On the bus going home, I could only resort to imagine a comeback, some snappy retort. But my chance is over, it's a play in my head where I really nail him with what I should have said. Well, Friday night at the party, Sue was quite the wit. She got in some zingers about my politics. Like a frog on a hot rock, my brain squirmed around for the perfect rejoinder which I never found. Well, now that that's over, it's a play in my head where I turn the table with what I should have said. With what I should have said, I would know in advance. I'm the master of banter, the king of romance. The guy in the center who's leading the dance. Not the kid in the corner in the big pair of pants. And now I'm in bed with what I should have said. Today at the bus stop, a man read the news. Shook his head and he asked me my religious views. But the answers he needed somehow wouldn't come from the back of my brain to the tip of my tongue. Well, now that that's over, it's a play in my head about how I convinced him with what I should have said. Now each night I'm in bed with what I should have said. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We used to work the big rooms. Speaking of working the big rooms and Elvis, this next song is our little Elvis tribute in a way. When we were you know, as we're driving along, we noticed all the little tourist attractions. And where were we, Phil?
Misery.
Oh, that's right.
Ames, Missouri.
So anyway, off the road there was this giant sign cut out of Elvis. And it said, Elvis is alive. And,
Well, listen to the mocking crowd. Listen to these people laughing.
we're serious about this. And they had a pink Cadillac out there that Elvis rode in once or something. And they also served T-bone steaks. I don't know. It's kind of a strange thing. But anyway. So we just couldn't resist. I mean, we tried to steer the car back onto the freeway, but, it pulled to the right, and we got out. And we went in, and of course they had all the Elvis paraphernalia, and they had, Elvis coloring books. We both purchased, you need to keep busy on the road and keep yourself occupied. So we got the Elvis coloring books. They had the Elvis toilet paper, which we passed on, so to speak. And there was, among this pile of stuff, they had this tape, this cassette tape. And it says, hear the voice of Elvis. Elvis speaks after his supposed death, or something of that sort. And I pick it up, and I'm thinking, if this is true, then